Namaste, my beautiful queens. Today I want to do a specific interesting reading. Got this idea how he really is and how you see him. Why such a reading? This is obvious. The reading came from life itself. We all tend to when we like somebody, or when we are in love with somebody, or when we feel that magnetic pull to somebody, we tend to think of them much better than they are. We tend to idealize them, and we tend to do what Page of Cups does, especially at the beginning of our relationship. We tend to project our own ideas, our such dreams onto this man. And sometimes it's very hard to determine, especially if you're dealing with such a personality as a magician, as a charmer, narcissistic type, or covert narcissistic type, because the picture he shows you would be absolutely dream man, but the reality could be completely different. So, but it also can be that what you see in him, this is what he is. So please choose number from 1 to 3. We'll do 3 cards. On this side, I will put how you see him, how you see what you see in him, and how he really is. Let's see what cards are going to show us. And my beauties, please note, if it's something you don't want to see, or it's going to be not very pleasant, these are their cards. I will read you the cards. So whatever is there, I will tell you. So let us go. I am asking the spirits of fire, spirits of earth, spirits of air, and spirits of water, the guides, the keepers, the divine forces, to give us the answers to our questions. This is how I see him. This is how he really is. I'm touching it to my forehead, to my mouth, and to my heart. I always do it before every reading. Some of you asked why I do it. To my forehead, so I clearly see with my mind and see the message. To my mouth, so I speak the truth, or speak what it is there needs to be spoken. And to my heart, so I also include my intuition and my heart into it. That's why this, like, I do it like this. So let us go. I'm just checking so I don't hold it upside down. This is how you see him. This is how he really is. Number 1. This is how you see him. This is how he really is. Number 2. This is how you see him. This is how he really is. Number 3. Again, this is how you see him, how he really is. Number 1. Same questions. Number 2. Same questions. Number 3. And let's go just to it and see what is there. And for timestamps, thank you very much. My water is here, my coffee is here. Number 1, this is how you see him. Interesting. So, boy, how much I love this is a card. Of course, it's not for all of you a card of a married man, but this is tired married men usually, very often. So how you see him as a very strong man who follows all the rules and who follows his duty. He stands up against all the danger. He you know, it's kind of like this card is the nickname for this card is the strength of the minor arcanas. He is very masculine, strong, but stubborn. Zodiac-wise, of course, it can be, we are not looking at zodiacs right now, we're looking at personality, but because of one's connected with fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, it could be that. But at the same time, it's a very careful type of a man, very careful, and he also resists whatever changes changes are coming his way. In love and relationship, how this man behaves, he resists and he fights for his own ideas and how he consider it has to be done. Unfortunately, this card is somewhat similar to the card of the Hermit. He likes to be free, he likes to be independent, and if he's a married man, pretty much he stubbornly is gonna be staying in his marriage, and it's pretty much useless to be dealing with him. But also he's suspicious. It's type of a man who had seen tough situations in relationship, heartbreaks in the past, and he doesn't trust neither himself nor trust whatever is happening with you, like kind of like that. Unfortunately, the energy exchange between you two, like you see him, are not happening very well enough. This is a cold man, cold kind of man, always on alert, similar somewhat to Four of Pentacles. So very hard to build anything with him or to plan anything with him for the future. This is how you see him, how he really is. Interesting that how he really is completely different. So, you know, this needs to be looked into because this is interesting. How he really is in reality, his personality are completely different because we're having 8 of Wands. But because we have 8 and 9, you see 8 and 9, so we could be dealing with that person which called a reverse personality or kind of double personality, when one day he's like this, another day he's like this. So how he really is he's actually how to say, he likes he loves life, he is emotional, he is energetic, he can be very inspiring, and he is inspired, and he's someone who similar to the card of the Fool. As I already said, the Fool is very hard to read and very hard to be with in relationship. Why? Because when the Fool looks into your eyes and tells you that you are a love of his life and he wants to spend a life with you, 2 weeks later the Fool, he believes in it. 2 weeks later the Fool can be having different ideas and go and find himself another inspiration, or just be vanished and be gone. So it's a free person. So we do have some crossing here. He loves freedom, he's free, he doesn't like any emotional cages. It's unfortunately yes, unfortunately, building committed relationship would be complicated. In relationship, this is a man who falls in love pretty quickly because the 8 of Wands, and who, unfortunately, again, because of the Fool, he needs this you know, who have characters like this very often. Musicians, actors, directors, they need the muse. They constantly need this another muse, and only when they have this muse they can create. They don't have this muse, they cannot create. So he can fall in love quickly, but his feelings are no deep. He can make you feel like you are on the top of the world. This is how he really is. He can show you so much emotions and feelings, but that turn cold. Unfortunately, again, we are having a man who is very difficult to build anything serious with. Of course, strange thing that he can, meeting the 8 of Wands brings tons of synchronicities, and a lot of people confuse 8 of Wands with a karmic relationship, because you find yourself like where he is, because their energy of 8 of Wands person, that if he thinks of you, you're gonna somehow find yourself in that place where he is. A lot of relationship, he communicates a lot at the beginning. There could be the text and phone calls, text you 7,000 times a day. He can be very sincere and romantic, but unfortunately that lasts not very long, and then he just it's hard to build with him anything. You know, it can be 8 of Wands can be hopeful, but sometimes, you know, you can build something with them. It depends on more cards added to it, and this situation actually, because very often when they but the thing is, when they find the one, they usually hold on to her, because the simple fact, my beautiful queens, I wrote it here, if a man loves you, he acts, he stays, he shows. And when the man loves you, he thinks you are his biggest treasure, and he's scared to lose you. So he will show you all possible and impossible way how he values you and how he loves you. So this type of a man, when he finds the one, you're gonna know it. He's gonna make sure he's gonna keep you in his life forever and ever. If he doesn't do it, if he doesn't act, then it's unfortunately not a very positive sign here, that he needs this, you know, champagne every once in a while, the new experiences, new spike, new emotions, new feelings. That's not very good for committed relationship. Set of card number 2. How you see him. Oh, you see him wonderfully. 10 of Pentacles. So you see him as someone, for example, first of all, this is not a poor man, because he has 10 of Pentacles. Definitely he achieved already quite a bit in life. He loves life. He is probably very financially successful, and he excuse me, this is someone who a good professional. He likes what he does, could be a workaholic. In a relationship, how he is, the zodiac wise Pentacles connected with Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but again I say we are looking into personality. In relationship, they are very emotionally involved, and in relationship, this is someone who you can see as the very good husband, of course, if he's free. So this man is in good relationship with his kids, if he has kids, with his parents. He's in a good, he has good position in society, whatever society it is. People respect him, people listen to him. It could be man older than you. He looks to you very reliable, very good, very someone who can be a good husband, a good father, a good, you know, safe life for you, who follows tradition, who likes his roots, know his roots, so on. So also strong someone, so really kind of like a man like that. How he really is, well, he congratulations for those of you who chose number 2. Because how he really is like that. Here we're having a good example of how man is. This is how you think him, how he is. A King of Cups, unless it's a Scorpio, because those are complicated signs which combine all the energies. Beside water, they combine fire, they combine earth because of the snake and phoenix fire. But At the same time, King of Cups is the best king which can possibly be. In relationship, he is loving, he is charming, he is not afraid to feel, he's not afraid to love, he is not afraid to give love, to receive love. It's this knight in shining armors, and he wants emotional connection. He craves it. He needs to feel that one being with you. But sometimes this king can hide his emotions. If this king is the sign of Cancer or Pisces, they can go deep. They can go deep, a little bit hide there for a little bit until he fully trusts you. Because this king, when they are young, they just all, you know, show their feelings and emotions, and they can get a little bit hurt. So when he knows you are the one, he can trust you fully. This king opens up his heart, and this is the only king with whom you can have a very strong emotional closeness. He's mystical. I have to tell you that I think in ideal world, of course, there is no such case as pure personality. There is no only King of Cups, because always all of us would be a mix of something, but a mix of King of Cups and King of Wands. For example, a man has a water sign in sun, and he has a fire sign in moon, or he has earth sign in moon. This is amazing. So he is what you think of him pretty much is how he is in reality. What else I can tell you about King of how to tell you what you need to be careful about? It's a seducer. It's this type of a man who you feel safe with, who you feel loved and adored, and but he's very addictive. The type of a man, he's addictive. You are get so attached to him, and he is very deep. It's very hard sometimes to figure them out, but at the same time, if he loves you, if he falls in love with you, interesting that he will love you deeply and truly. Usually, if a king in connection with 10 of Pentacles, if he does fall in love with you, he will love you eternally and immortally, because this is a king which holds the Saint Grail. I could be talking about him much longer, but he is intuitive, he is essential, he is creative, he is emotional, he is deep. So if this is a man I just described to you as a man you know, then you are a lucky girl. And number 3, how you see him? Oh, you see him as Judgment. What is it? I unfortunately completely not what it is. How you see him? You see him as Judgment card, and you see him as your destiny, and you see him as your the one. You see him as either karmic partner, or you see him as your twin flame. I'm gonna start avoiding this word because this becomes crazy in Judgment. But unfortunately, this is not how reality is. Reality is we're having a Fool here. They are so opposite from each other, because this is 0 arcana and 20th arcana. It's 20 arcanas are between them. So unfortunately, how you see him as someone who is meant to be, someone who is your true one, your other half, or your true man. And he is someone who brought a lot of changes into your life. Could be he could be actually karmic soulmate for you, but it's just the problem is the Fool does bring changes and does bring awakening, don't take me wrong. It's just his behavior in love and relationship is far away from the behavior of the Judgment. So he came, and you see him as someone who awakened your soul, someone who came and shook your world, someone who brought you understanding of different things, someone who brought you transformation, because this is influence of Pluto, someone who made you rethink what you was thinking about life, so on and so on. Like a shaking, because Judgment is the physical life is over and the spiritual life starts, and you could really awaken with him coming into your life, becoming a high priestess. So this is how you see him, and he can be like this, but my goodness, but reality is we are having here the Fool. The Fool is 0 arcana, or the Fool is unborn child. 0 arcana, not even a first. Connected with number 11 as transformation and new beginning. As a personality, he is impulsive. As a personality, he is spontaneous. He has this fresh power in him. He can be very inspiring. He can be open to life. This is the expression of this arcana, the wise fool. You know, like the kings, they had the fools which acted like the fools, but they knew everything. So the wise fool, of course, is in relation as a person. It can be extremely interesting person, energetic, almost idealistic, a little bit crazy even, open up for everything, bringing this new circle of your life, fun, sincere, fully sincere, not like anyone you've ever knew in your life, a little bit detached with reality, and which makes him actually more like a magician type, because the Fool includes everything in him. It's very extraordinary type of a personality, sensual, but at the same time, this personality is immature. It's a 0 arcana, unborn child. That's the nickname of a 0 arcana. He's immature and infantile. He opens up for all the new. He can be impulsive. He can make you feel like you've never felt before. He can be extremely intuitive, and but unfortunately in a relationship very unreliable. Of course, this, you know, should be looked into what else is there, but this what I've described in the first card when we were talking about 8 of Wands. When it's not a liar, when he looks into your eyes, as I said, and tells you that he found in you the whole universe, and he wants to spend the whole life with you, he believes in it. And this is what dangerous, because he believes in it and you believe in it. But because he is that unborn child, and that child, when he is born, he can become anything. He can become a crime or can become a doctor. It's more fantasies and instinct that actual actions building a reliable relationship. Being with a Fool is not knowing knowing what's gonna happen tomorrow. Today he makes love to you in such a way that he would want to melt with you, completely disappearing in you, completely giving himself fully to you. But 2 weeks later he can be gone, and you will not know what the hell happened. It's not even, it's gonna be, you know, you wouldn't even be able to blame him, like, but you lied to me, because when he tells you something, he's not lying. But 2 weeks later he decides that he wants to live on the top of the mountain in a Tibetan monastery. 2 months later he will decide he wants to live on Manhattan, New York, and become a brokerage agent. 6 months later he will tell you that he wants to go to Bali and start his own ashram and train people to do yoga. It's like that. He's everything. He includes everything in himself. Only if you don't take him seriously, and if you just ready that you don't know what to expect with him, from him, then you can, you know, save yourself nerve system. But unfortunately, a reliable, committed relationship with them are very hardly possible, unless you are the fool yourself. You know, he tells you, I want to go, and you say, okay, let's go. I want to live on the top of the mountain. Okay, let's go to the top of the mountain, live there together. So this, my queens, is all about the reading for this video. I also want to make a video of if you actually were together with him, would it be how you imagine it? Because we tend to think, if only I lived with this man, if only we were together, how beautiful life would have been. But unfortunately, sometimes, very, very often, when people actually start living together and all these little and big issues appear, this is not how you imagined it. So we're gonna look, this is how you imagine life with him, and this is how life with him actually would be if you did, if you were living together as a couple, as a husband and wife, or as a couple. And allow me to remind you one more time. If man loves you, he acts, he stays, he shows it to you every possible way. And if a man doesn't truly love you, why, queens, would you need a man who doesn't truly love you? Maid, please stop giving yourself excuses of, he is my karmic partner, he is my soulmate, karmic soulmate, he is my twin flame. Even if he is a triple twin flame, triple karmic, triple I do not know who, archangels, Gabriel, who became a man and came into your life, if this man does not show you that he values you, he loves you, he appreciates you, this man has to be out of your life, because you deserve to be with a man who values you and loves you truly and deeply. If a man loves you, he stays. If a man loves you, he acts. If a man loves you, he shows his love to you. If a man loves you, he is terrified to lose you. He would want to make all possible and impossible to make you know that you are the only one for him. Because when he loves you, he constantly is afraid that someone else will take you from him. He values you. He constantly shows you what you mean to him. He calls, he comes, and when he loves you, he wants you to be happy. If you're sick, he's gonna come and make you chicken noodle soup. Even if he can't cook, he's gonna use YouTube. If you are crying, he's gonna hold you, and then he's gonna joke with you to make you laugh. If you feel down, he's gonna come and uplift you. If you are out of job and out of money, he's gonna come with 10 packs of groceries and things you need around the house. If a man loves you, if a man truly loves you, he values you. He acts, he shows. He acts, he shows. That is very easy way for you to know he loves me, because when he loves you, he acts and he shows you his appreciation, his love. He acts constantly because he's afraid if he loves you. If he doesn't act, you're going to be gone somewhere and you will be with someone who will show you this action. But if he doesn't love you, if he doesn't value you, then ask yourself, why do you need such a man? And remember, self-respect is the key. If you're doing something, ask yourself, do I respect myself right now? And if it's a negative answer, cut this situation out of your life. Ask yourself, am I respecting myself now? Do I respect myself now, what I'm doing? If yes, yes, stay there. If no, cut it out. If a man loves you, he acts, he shows, he stays. As simple as that. Namaste.